Individual and social ethics. In this last lecture, I wish to do two things. First, to repeat briefly the conclusions reached in earlier lectures. Second, to relate social and political doctrines into the individual ethics by which a man should guide his own personal life. And after the evils we have recognized and the dangers we have acknowledged, to hold out nevertheless as resulting from our survey certain high hopes for the not too distant future of mankind, which I, my part, believe to be justified on a sober estimate of possibilities. To begin with recapitulation, broadly speaking, we have distinguished two main purposes of social activities. On the one hand, security and justice require a centralized governmental control which must extend to the creation of a world government if it is to be effective. Progress, on the contrary, requires utmost scope for personal initiative that is compatible with social order. The method of securing as much as possible of both of these aims is devolution. The world government must leave national governments free in everything not involved in the prevention of war. National governments, in their turn, must leave as much scope as possible to local authorities. In industry, it must not be thought that all problems are solved when there is a nationalization. A large industry, namely railways, should have a large measure of self-government. The relation of employees to the state in a nationalized industry should not be a mere reproduction of their former relations to private employers. Everything concerned with opinion, such as newspapers, books, and political propaganda, must be left to genuine competition and carefully safeguarded from governmental control as well as from every other form of monopoly. But the competition must be cultural and intellectual, not economic, and still less military by means of the criminal law. In cultural matters, diversity is a condition of progress. Bodies that have a certain independence of the state, such as universities and learned societies, have great value in this respect. It is deplorable to see, as in present day Russia, men of science compelled to subscribe to obscurantist nonsense in the behest of scientifically ignorant politicians who were able and willing to enforce their ridiculous decisions by the use of economic and police power. Such pitiful spectacles can only be prevented by limiting the activities of politicians to the sphere in which they may be supposed or competent. They should not presume to decide what is good music or good biology or good philosophy. I should not wish such matters to be decided in this country by the personal taste of any prime minister, past, present, or future, even if by good luck his taste were impeccable. I come now to the question of personal ethics as opposed to question of social and political institutions. No man is wholly free and no man is wholly a slave. To the extent to which a man has freedom, he needs a personal morality to guide his conduct. There are some who would say that a man need only obey the accepted moral code of his community, but I do not think any student of anthropology would be content with this answer. Such practices as cannibalism, human sacrifice, and head hunting have died out as a result of moral protest against conventional moral opinion. If a man seriously desires to live the best life that is open to him, he must learn to be critical of tribal customs and tribal beliefs. that were generally accepted among his neighbors.